Welcome to the C4 Canucks Hockey Podcast.
Every week, they talk about the Vancouver Canucks with a fair amount of nonsense thrown in.
Sure, they're never the first with the news, nor the best connected, and definitely more off the rails than on.
But they've been talking puck the longest, and that counts for something, right?
So strap in for the longest running, best mediocre Canucks Hockey Podcast.
It's C4 with Chris and Anna.
I think last episode we said summer had arrived, but I think summer has really arrived now.
It's here for sure.
It's hot.
It's hot. Although I've got to thank my colleagues because usually this room is hot as balls, technical term, but everyone put down their blinds on the Friday, so not as bad as it could be, but yeah, there's no aircon on weekends, so I just went up to the gym. I've never done that on a weekend before. Apparently, there's no aircon there either. There was some guy lifting weights.
Yeah, well,
That's too dedicated, no?
I'm not a gym guy, never really have been, but I have heard of like gyms that do, like, I think isn't like, I mean, I know it's not a gym, but like Orange Theory isn't the idea have like hotter experiences to get you into,
I
like,
guess there's hot
yoga
yoga and stuff, but like, yeah, to me, it's just that's too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Punishment.
I could be talking straight out of my butt here because, again, not a gym guy. I avoid heat.
Yes, I try, but it's been very hot in the last 2 days in Vancouver for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of really hot, you and I were both on different vacations. You went up to some glorious resort in a fjord on coastal BC. I went into the Kootenays. So first of all, I went to just outside of Nelson. They could still have campfires. It's actually been pretty cool and damp so far. No campfire ban there, which for those who don't understand British Columbia, campfire bans are essentially a thing come spring, and they last until winter.
So, so on my vacation, I was with my dad and my stepmom, and they were like, oh, yeah, we saw a sign that said wildfire risk extreme. And I was like, oh, that's just the usual summer.
Yeah, it's normal.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen a sign in the summer that doesn't say extreme.
Well, so, as we're driving, like it's like 4 stages, I think. Yeah, the signs pretty much, it's 3 or 4 throughout most of BC. You have to get real north for it potentially not to be that way usually. But yes, we're going into like Nelson 1, like stage 1. They're like, we did see a wildfire, a forest fire just outside Castlegar, sort of top of a mountain. It didn't seem significant in size, like we knew it existed because of the smoke.
Right.
But it was kind of surreal. But the point of the heat part is that not that it was hot while we were there. It wasn't. But I went to a hot springs, Ainsworth Hot Springs. Ooh. And I'd never been in a hot spring before. It was pretty cool. Like the minerals or whatever make the water super buoyant. And the water is very warm.
Yes. I've been to Harrison Hot Springs.
I've never been. Have you been in the hot springs at Harrison Hot Springs?
Yes.
Okay.
In the hotel.
It's possible to go to Harrison Hot Springs, the place, but not experience the hot spring.
The second time I went, I did. I was just there overnight for someone's wedding, so I just looked at the lake, and that was pretty much it. But cool. Also, speaking of lakes in the interior, I was explaining the Ogopogo to my dad because he's Scottish, so he's familiar with the Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness cousin.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, they're the same, basically.
Yeah, same. Yeah, big tunnel. Maybe it is the same. That geothermal tunnel it shoots through to visit all of its different lakes.
New conspiracy theory just dropped.
Yeah, here on C4 first. I mean, it's still the doldrums of NHL summer. It's gotten to the point now where internet sleuths are figuring out which Canucks got married over the off season.
Yeah, apparently that's something of interest. I mean, congrats, Petey.
Yeah, okay. So I know we're not in a rewind here because it's not really something we've been planning on talking about. You hadn't put it in the rundown because you're classier than me. Does it really matter if a Canuck gets married or not. Like that part doesn't, like,
No,
I'm not
like
interested. I could care
happy
less. I'm
for
happy
him.
for,
Yeah, I think the only like thing I want to say is I just saw some gross comments about it, like, oh, that puts paid to all the ugly rumors and stuff, and I'm just like, I mean, first of all, just because you are in a heterosexual relationship does not mean you are heterosexual. Like, there's lots of banners and lots of identities across
whatever
the
flag you
banner,
want to fly for the most part, let
but
that flag
like,
fly.
so weird to say that. Just like, I'm glad PD's happy. That's all I care about. I'm not that concerned about his personal life. I'm
Yeah,
really not.
I this is the thing is, I mean, our show has never really been concerned with the personal lives of hockey players. I mean, let's be real. If you or I were that deeply concerned as to some of the Canucks' personal lives, this might be a darker show on the
Yeah,
usual. Like,
yeah.
there's some
Honestly,
things that you and
when
I have sort of
we've
compartmentalized.
had to get into it, it's not often been for pleasant reasons, right?
No. And I think, if we were to get to that point, like, there are going to be thoughts and opinions you and I quite clearly would not agree with. And again, I'm not trying to sanitize that or suggest that, everything is copacetic. But as
Mm,
far as like Petey getting married, or Hedel was the other one, though Hedel was a little more public in the
yes,
marriage.
he definitely
Um,
did give her.
right.
And
Uh,
again, cute,
Good for
whatever.
them.
Happy, good for them.
Yeah.
He's now on the publicity trail for the Canucks at NHL Europe.
hmm,
So yeah, that has
well,
begun. The
yeah,
media tour has begun. I guess they do one in Europe and one in the States every year, which I never really even noticed.
they don't do one in Canada for some reason.
Weird.
hmm I got a real serious question to ask you, Anna.
Uh huh.
Have you gotten married over the course of the summer and I didn't know about it?
I don't know about it if I have.
Okay, well,
So I'm going to say no.
that would be some crazy stuff. Okay, well, I too have not got married again, but
Yeah.
that just to say that
And you are still
I am
married.
still married.
Yeah.
So there,
Very good.
look, we
That's
pulled the curtain back on our own personal
yeah.
lives because it's only fair. You and I are going to talk a little bit about what little news is kind of Canucks related been broken. We're going to make some news up because that's what we have to do at this point of the
Yeah.
year. All the run of the mill stuff we do in the off season and sometimes during the regular season. But before we get there, before we dive into Rewind, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that one of our phenomenal supporters of the show, Sean, between last episode and this episode, bought us 4 pints on Buy Me a Coffee, or as you and I like to call it, Anna.
Buy me a pint.
And Sean included a note. He said, "Hi, Chris and Anna. It's great to hear gang back together again for the latest episode. I'm sure it was a worrying time for you, Chris, but at least you had the security of knowing that Anna had your back. Anna did have my back. I know that Anna
Yes.
has my back, as I have hers. Anyway, now that you are through the worst of the worry, it's time for you guys to have a pint. And I'm adding a pint for Chris's dad and Anna's mom. And in brackets, he puts hi, because podcast lore, every
Anna's
time we
mom.
mention Anna's mom, hi, Anna's mom. As
Mom.
we need to appreciate our folks while we have them. Keep on keeping on. I also want to give a shout out to Sean. He reached out to me personally via Discord just to check in. Sean is great people. I mean, there's a lot of
Very
you
good
listeners
people.
that are great people. I just Sean continues to go beyond the call.
Yes. And I will say, actually, so a bunch of, I know Sean through cricket stuff, and a bunch of our cricket friends got together, including Sean, pretty recently, and they had a bunch of pints, so I'm glad in some distant way I feel included in that.
Yeah. But again, Sean, thank you so much. And if you, like Sean, wanted to throw a pint our way, we'll never turn down a pint. You can do so by going to buymeacoffee.com/C4 podcast. We call it BMAC. We refer to it internally as Buy Me a Pint, but I just can't change the URL that way. It'd be cool if I could. There's probably some legal things, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
just a pint. It doesn't say beer, it's just a pint. It'd be a pint of coffee. Sometimes that's how
Pint
much
of
I drink.
wine, if you are going
Well, again, like the alcohol part, wine,
Yeah.
beer, liquor, there could be some gray area there, but like pint of coffee. I drink a pint of coffee in the morning. Maybe
Do you
two. I don't know.
actually?
Sometimes. No, I actually don't know. I drink a lot of coffee. Probably
No,
far too
me
much.
too.
Anyhow, let's dive into Rewind. Marco Rossi extends with Minnesota. Gosh darn it. I had hoped the Vancouver Canucks were going to exceed the cap trying to get him on the roster.
Yeah. I mean, Marco Rossi was always going to be a trade option, right? Because as you say, there's no space.
Well, but like when you say trade option, realistically, I'm not entirely
And
sure
again,
the Vancouver Canucks would want to pay whatever price would be
and what do we have to
necessary.
trade? Yeah, like
Well,
Canucks
the
are
pieces we
so
do have don't make the team better when you get Marco Rossi.
yeah, and Canucks are very reluctant to give up someone of note like Vilander or really like
DPD.
DPD. So yeah, no, but yeah, it is interesting. It's not like clearly the Marco Rossi is not like. I mean, 5 million, 3 years. That's not like what you pay a player you really, really like.
Well, you're right, but then it's also an amount that's indicative of where you see him fitting from a production perspective. And I don't think the number is a steal unless he proves everyone
No, I
wrong.
just
I mean,
think the reason he's signing now is he definitely expected more than that.
oh yeah. Well, speaking of signing now, another target of the Vancouver Canucks, not yet got a deal.
Yes, Jack Roslovic. Although, yes, so I did hear Johnson say Canucks are no longer that interested.
Well,
Um,
again, he's
yeah,
a free agent, but you don't have free cap space.
yeah, it's true. And Canucks would have had to figure something out to make that work. Toronto, I'm very high on him still. But yeah, you would have to think you've got to find a dance partner at some point, Jack.
Well,
It's almost September.
I'm not suggesting a dance partner won't be found, but how many offers have you said no to this
Yeah,
point?
considering
Like,
he was on a 1 year 2.8, like that's not
yeah,
like again like he has a lot of promise and but yeah, he's 28.
but
Like
like
he has
even
yet to break out, I would say.
there has to be teams out there who have offered him that,
Yeah.
right? Like that's, and I would imagine there's probably been offers even above that. Like, but I, you're right. It's getting close to September. Maybe it's time to find that partner to dance with because the dance about to start. And generally, once the dance has started, there are fewer partners to be had. I don't
Yes.
know. When I went to the dance, I held up the wall with a bunch of other people. There were always plenty of
Was
us
it
that,
boys on one side, girls on the other?
yeah,
Yeah, same.
not directed that way. Like it's just sort of how,
Yeah, it
you
just
know,
ends up happening.
right there. And then there was a handful that did dance. And then eventually, as the night sort of got on, more people started to just glom into a bigger group. Completely off the rails here. If you
Why
happen
not?
to be someone who lives in Vancouver, if you lived in Vancouver a while, you've probably at some point listened to Z95. But
I
one
was
of their,
listening today.
okay, was Buzz Bishop on?
I don't think so.
So my high schools in years past would hire Zed to come out and host the dances. And often Buzz Bishop was the guy that would come because Buzz
That's kind of
was,
cool. We never got like a proper radio DJ.
well, at the time, Buzz would have been like the young up and comer, and off
Yeah.
like in the context of sort of where seniority is, you generally got the people on the street, the swing hosts, things that's sort of Buzz was. But Buzz did a really good job. It's defining his brand. becoming
Yeah.
Buzz Bishop, he would wear this baseball jersey that said Buzz across it. And I think this was before, was it Major League 3, where like one of the teams was the Buzz, but it was that style of jersey, that style of
Okay.
brand. Yeah.
Yeah, I have only seen the first, so
Hmm.
I didn't even know there were sequels. But there's sequels to everything. Happy Gilmore has a sequel now.
It does. I have not watched it. I keep thinking I
I've
should.
not. I don't know. I was never that big a fan. Like, I'm not a snob. I actually quite like some Adam Sandler movies, but that was never one of my favorites. Like, I
Okay,
much
so
preferred like Big Daddy. That's Big Daddy. I've watched like 5 times over. I love
yeah.
that film.
The funny thing is, I've actually really enjoyed the dramatic, on semi sort of dramatic roles that he's had. Like, I don't know. I feel that there are
Like,
moments where,
what would you class as his dramatic roles? I'm very
okay, I can't
curious.
remember. So I can't remember the title, but he played a widow. His family had passed away in, I think, an accident or something like that. He was going
Okay.
through a series of anguish. It had Don Cheadle in it, who was like a sort of friend of his from the past.
I
Okay.
have no idea what this film is. I suppose Uncut Gems is a dramatic role. Uncut Gems.
Okay, so
Has
what's
it?
this?
That's a very tense film.
Okay, I'm searching it right now,
Okay,
which
this is so
makes
off the
for
rails, but like I'm pretty sure it will get you guys.
fantastic. Reign Over Me was what it was called. Reign,
I've never
REI.
heard of this.
Okay, you got to watch. Okay,
Okay,
so
listeners,
it's
please tell me if
64.
it's just me because I don't know what
It's
this is.
64% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not an Oscar winner. But the context is that Adam Sandler's character loses his family. Actually, it was in September 11th.
Oh
And
God,
then he runs into a former
bleak.
college roommate, which is Don Cheadle. And then they
As
sort of
long as Don Cheadle's
reconnect.
not
And
doing an English accent, then I will
no,
watch it.
he's straight up American.
Good. That's
Yeah.
painful.
Anyhow, it was Reign
Anyhow,
Over Me was really good. And then when I say semi-drama, it's more comedy, but Spanglish, I actually thought he
yeah,
did well in
like it's a
Spanglish.
rom-com. Like 50 First Dates is
Yeah.
kind of
50
both.
First Dates, I thought was
I
good.
don't mind it. It's
Um,
cringe, but it's also entertaining.
no, but that's the thing, is that it's the entertainment. But like, I don't go into an Adam Sandler movie thinking like, okay, this is going to be a critically acclaimed success.
Yeah.
Success on another, standard.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I think he's had better goofy movies than Happy Gilmore, and I don't know why everyone's obsessed with it.
Speaking of critically acclaimed successes, the Vancouver Canucks center lineup needs to be. Case
It
in
needs
point,
to be.
have to imagine PD's are number one. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone, at least at this point. That's sort of the way it is, the way it
Played
has to
like a number
be.
one, act like a number one.
And, hopefully number two, because we don't know much about Edel's health. He got married. Good sign, maybe?
Which great. I don't know if that has any links to concussion.
No,
Health.
but
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I'm grasping for positives because we've heard very little.
Sorry. I got completely distracted just now because I just quit. I have a bunch of Hockey DB pages open,
Mhm.
and I was about to pull up Philip Pedal. I have Thatcher Demko's open, and it has one. I don't know if it's his current headshot for the Canucks. He looks like a mad professor.
Is like the hair all over?
It's just like, yeah, crazy.
Uh,
Anyway, Philip Pedals isn't great, and it's his Rangers pitcher, so. But yeah, that's a huge thing. Like, he missed a bunch of games last year. He's missed a bunch of games in his career, and I know there's been a bunch of quotes because of the NHL Europe thing about him being ready to step up to the challenge. I've no doubt his attitude is at the right point.
Oh,
I've no doubt his talent is there, but there's
it's
so
just
many
whether
question
or
marks.
not, like, again, I'm not a professional athlete in any way, shape, or the form. I just talk about them. The few concussions I know I have suffered from. And that's the thing is I've probably suffered far more and gone through things without really knowing. But the few I know I experienced, I felt ready until I tried. And then
Yeah.
it was very clear I was nowhere near ready. And the most frustrating thing about it is it didn't seem like there was anything I could do to fix it because time was the only true treatment. I mean, I say that because I'm not a doctor. I'm
Yeah.
sure there are
And
other things, but like
he's
functionally
obviously
speaking,
he's been skating, obviously. He's been working out, but like the true test is the NHL game, which is such a
mhm,
step up from anything you would be doing in the off season. It's just like in the Premier League, like everyone gets told, "Oh, it's way more physical than any other league in Europe." But I
I was
don't
going to
think
say,
you
and the way more physical. Have they ever been to
no.
CONCACAF
Yeah,
or
exactly.
CONMEBOL?
In Europe, it's way more physical.
Fair.
Um, but until you experience it, like, and you have to adapt to it, like maybe your body struggles or your game struggles, and like it's NHL, the speed and the physicality of the NHL game. That's something else. Like literally, the headline quote from his media is "It's all up to me." Like, babe, it
Well,
isn't. It's not
well,
within your control.
it depends on the definition of me. Like technically speaking, it's
His
the me
body.
your body is
Yeah.
you. Like, but
Yeah.
the problem is there's only so much you control about you. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I was, you know, 18 still, but there's very little I can do
Yeah.
to make me
You not
18
18.
again. No, I'm not. Not even
Yeah.
19.
Me not 18 either.
Yeah, like, but I
And
mean,
we cannot
being
control that.
facetious, but that's the thing. There's only so much you can do. Your body does what it does. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I hope for his sake, what he is saying is true. I hope he has success. I hope he suffers no further injuries with a
Yeah.
long, healthy, successful NHL career. Um, and there's some selfishness as a Canucks fan because I think if he has a long, successful career, that bodes well for the team I support. He's on that team. It's the same with Petey. Like you and I want Petey and Heedle, and heck, we want everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
If
But there's
Shane
a large
O'Brien
part
were
of
to suit up again, I would cheer him on as a Vancouver Canuck despite not necessarily liking it.
yes. But I would say there's a large part of the Heedle Petey thing that you would just want them to succeed as a Canuck for themselves as well.
Mhm.
Just like both in their separate ways have had such a rough time. And
That's
part
the
of it
kind
is
way of
their own fault.
suggesting
But
it,
yeah.
but I'm selfish as L could be.
Yeah, no, I'm just
I want
saying
them
that
to
it's
succeed for the team I support.
both.
Yeah, it is both,
Because
but I'm
Pedersen
selfish.
failing in Vancouver and going somewhere else and succeeding.
Oh, I'd hate that. I'd hate
I
that with
mean,
him.
I would hate it too, but I also think
Million sons.
that's always going to be a mark against him as a player.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be a market so much as just people who go on about, it's Vancouver market. It's the horrible whatever fill in the blank that it's all about Vancouver market.
Yeah.
Anywho, you and I are going to take a break. You're listening to the C4 Canucks Hockey Podcast, brought to you by Anna and Chris.
Take hitting out of the game. You can't hit anymore, so don't do it.
The unsportsmanlike conduct, I want to get an explanation on it.
No kidding.
Because how do you get suspended for unsportsmanlike conduct?
Plus interference. There's no interference there. He had the puck.
Now, Madison never ever did that before. Now, why did he do it? And that because he was mad.
Well, your early favorite for the Calder Trophy, that's for sure. Elias Pettersson, you might even say your early favorite for the Hart Trophy.
Just to get back to your question, Elias is going to play plenty. He can play. He's going to get a lot of power play time. And yeah, I'm concerned about our offense. We lost 200-point players, and we've got to find a way to score.
I like how you've broken down half full, half empty. It's three sort of statements with some players associated to each. So the first statement is this has to be their year. And I kind of said that with periods for emphasis. You didn't write it that way, but had you?
That's how I meant it. So.
Yep. Demko, Petey, Höglander.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with two of those.
I think the Hoglander thing is to a lesser degree, but I do think the
Okay.
pressure is onto him because I
Okay.
think it
New
has
coach,
to be
though.
his year or he goes.
You think?
I do actually. I think Rick Tocchet was definitely a Hoglander skeptic for a while.
That's saying it lightly.
Yeah, and Adam Foote is a Rick Tocchet guy, but obviously they invested in the Hoglander story. He got the new contract. Yeah, so I do think it's like, okay, we re-signed him to a cheap deal because we thought he was gonna earn a bigger deal. It didn't really work out that way. So he's got I just think there wouldn't be much to to convince Adam Foote that he's more trouble than he's worth, because I just think he's so in tune with the Tocchet mindset.
Okay, that is a fair point. Foote is a Tocchet disciple.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to consider, though, Hoglander had the confidence of the front office.
Yes, I would agree.
The scuttlebutt suggests the front office and Tocchet saw the player differently.
Yeah.
I don't think the front office's view of the player has shifted significantly. And I would have to think that during whatever interview process took place, some conversation happened as to players and personnel and deployment and what have you. And I would have to think the front office might have suggested some, I don't know, ideas as to the way things could be that might not have been the same way with Tocchet. And I'd have to think that Adam Foote got the job because he wasn't there saying, I disagree wholeheartedly. I'm going to do it my way. Y'all know nothing. I mean, maybe that's why he got the job. They liked the fact that he spoke back to them, but that doesn't seem to be a Vancouver Canucks sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think he got the job because he's
cheap.
And
I mean, you and I are cheaper.
We are. But we'd argue a lot more.
Yeah, we would. But this is the thing. If they had signed us to they could have, I mean, you could have been head coach. I would have been your assistant, whatever. I don't care. Give you what, 150,000, me 100. Does that seem reasonable? Right?
Yeah, I'll take it.
I mean, look how much more money the team could have saved.
Yes, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we would have been much more reasonable getting out of a deal. But
I mean, the problem is that we would have probably had a weekly podcast that we'd record, and each week we'd solicit input from our listeners
and trash
how to coach the team.
Trash the team on the podcast then?
No, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. We'd just ask our listeners to provide feedback and implement
do polls.
It. Right.
Who do you think the first line should be? Who's on the PK unit?
Exactly. We could do this. We could do this. In fact, this is something we should pitch.
Buy me a coffee, and it's instead of the highest, whoever donates.
Hi, Anna and Chris. I've bought you 10 coffees. Can you please deploy PD on the fourth line and only skate him for 5 minutes because he's the reason JT Miller's not a Canuck. Yeah. Another person will be like, hey, Chris and Anna, I bought you a bunch of pints. Can you turn, Tyler Myers into a fourth line forward?
I mean, we would be doing that anyway. We would 100% be doing that anyway.
Well, no, don't say that because we're going to lose the pints. We're going to use the pints.
Anyway, we got super distracted, and I will say, this was all to say that Hoglander, I think he's on a short leash still, but it's way more pressure on Demko and PD.
I can see the short leash, but I don't think he starts in the doghouse, presuming he has a decent camp.
Yeah. Can we think of any more dog metaphors?
Yeah, don't know. I would have to also wonder, does he get placed on a line with Petey? Because the statistics support the fact that Petey and Hoglander together are PB and J.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
Mm-hmm. Or in the new Toronto Blue Jays commercial, J and PB, which just does not work.
Okay.
You don't know what I'm referencing? Oh, well, so yeah, long story
I don't
short.
I literally don't watch Sportsnet
Yeah,
between
well,
the end of the playoffs and the start of the
that's why you wouldn't
preseason.
see a Toronto Blue Jays commercial, but
Yeah.
the stick is that it's jelly and peanut butter. Which,
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Stupid.
Anyhow,
Yes, but I also know that they have invested in like some 35-year-old who also like wants to play with Petey.
yeah, everyone wants to play with Petey. Petey's a hot commodity. This being Petey's year, I think he bounces back. I don't think we see another bad year.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes because there's so much talent there. They have pretty much clean slate as much as they can for him.
Yeah.
Like, new coach, no JT Miller,
Healthy.
healthy.
Yeah. The Thatcher Demko one, it has to be his year because he just signed a darn contract. And no fault of him, his own. Get the bag, man. You get the bag when the team offers it to you. I just, I wonder, like, the demands on Thatcher Demko are going to be significant. We talked about this last episode as to sort of the numeric value as to game starts. But we know that the Vancouver Canucks, as they are currently constructed and have been for some time, require goaltenders to perform miracles game in and game out. And so long as Thatcher's Polly Pickle Pecta Pickled Peppers muscle
exactly
remains whatever it is, I have some concern there. But you're right. This has to be his year. He has to show that I got this deal because darn well I'm a goaltender that deserves it.
Yes. And once again, we are saying that he's a goaltender, like, for now and for the future. And that means not playing yourself into the dirt. And, like, obviously, the Canucks coaching staff have a big hand in that.
Well, I was going to say, Thatcher will play himself into the dirt because that's just
regardless.
his way.
He cannot be allowed to do that.
Yeah, it's the coaching staff that needs to realize that they signed Kevin Lankinen for some big money too.
Yes. Plus, there's the whole third goalie thing, which we discussed.
Whoever gets that role gets to sit upstairs more games than not. They should just bring back Michael DiPietro.
Oh, yeah. What about, is Richard Bachman retired?
I actually think he is. But I mean, that'd be a good swan
But that
song.
doesn't necessarily preclude him.
Get yourself the bag up in the press box, bud.
Yeah. But for real, do we have, like, maybe this is a stupid question, but do you get another roster spot or you were supposed to use your current?
I actually don't know. I would have to think you get a roster spot for your own e-bug.
Yeah, and but like, also,
do the e-bugs travel?
Yeah, that's the point, is that they do now.
No, okay.
Rather than being a home rink.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, oh my goodness, Michael DiPietro takes off his Canucks jersey, throws on a Flames one, trots down the ice.
No, that is the point. It's kind of more boring, but makes more sense that you have your own.
Well, but in the back,
but it doesn't count towards the cap, right? Or it's just like a traveling extra player.
I would have to, like, this is, if it counts to the cap and it counts as a roster spot, teams are like in a tougher spot,
right?
Yeah, but again, I don't know. I haven't spent any time reading the napkin that they signed the agreement on. This could be their year. Hedl, Ratu, DPD. It could be Hedl's year. Like, if he's healthy and he remains healthy through the season, like he was. I mean, this is the other thing. Does Foote take the hockey out of the kid? Because one of the things that Hedl was doing really well was playing the game opposite to how Tocchet seemed to be coaching it. Like,
it's true. It does seem like
Hedl didn't get the memo that you're not supposed to carry the puck across the opposition blue line. The rule was put it into the corner and fight for it.
Yeah. And
Hedl was all going north and south.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, you
He was
just like
exciting.
it really like I can't even imagine what Adam foot hockey looks like
I honestly don't
because
think it'll be all that exciting. If we thought pocket hockey was
yeah,
boring, I'm real prepared for foot hockey to say, hold my beer.
yeah,
That'll
and
suck.
maybe he'll blow us away, but and
Watch the
maybe he'll
Canucks
let
get
the
like
players
60 wins playing boring foot hockey.
calling it foot hockey makes it seem like it's just like someone forgot the name football. Yeah, it's like hockey, but you play it with your feet. It's foot hockey.
As long as you don't play it with your feet into the net.
Yeah, although it can hit your feet into the net and who knows what.
Yeah. Then it's just
Yeah.
a roll of the dice, whichever numbers come up. So okay, Hedel, yes, could be his year. Ratu, I like his name being on this list. I'm not entirely sure if we've reached the point that he's about to have a year.
I have faith. I am excited. He has the best face-off numbers. Like, he's the third best face-off percentage in Canucks history.
So
Like,
what you're telling me is Manny shared with him the wisdom, the dark
yeah.
arts of the face-off circle.
No, but like
imbued him with his
he
magic
came with his
Malhotra
own
stuff.
talent. He can take his face off backwards, which makes him possessive of black magic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what an interesting tool to have in that you can win every face-off on your penalty can and power play by just
Which, as we've pointed out in past episodes over the course of last season, one of the best ways to be successful on either the power play or penalty kill is to win face-offs. A struggle that the Vancouver
and
Canucks
since
had.
Bo's gone, and like JT Miller was good at face-offs, by the way, but like as a face-off specialist on special teams, Bo was the last person that really did that.
Yeah. DPD. I don't know. Okay, this is not a knock on DPD. He just seems too safe to have a year. I'd love for the kid to have a year because, like, the Vancouver Canucks are one Quinn Hughes away from being on the scrap heap.
Okay, but yeah, like this is the problem, Chris. You are in fact the problem because
I am the problem.
defensive hockey is sexy, and it's just a shame that you
10-9
and the
final
rest
score, baby.
the NHL awards committee does not appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I do. I grew up in the 80s. And then so the pendulum then swung the entire opposite direction. And I'll be forever bothered by that. Like, trap hockey was the worst thing ever. I hated the slow.
We all hate trap hockey.
The most exciting period of hockey since the 80s was that, I don't know, 1 month where NHL officials called every instance of another player, so much as, nudging an opposition player. 2 minutes honestly, interference. Loved it.
I kind of like that, even though I don't, because NHL officiating needs to be bold, start calling like actual rules sometimes and going a bit too far so they can draw it back. But there's just so much that goes uncalled that disturbs me.
But if that puck goes over the glass for whatever reason, feel your shame, head of the box.
We're right back to Hedel again. Like, that's what scares me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
This could be it. Hughes and the Canucks. Oh my God. Why do you have to put this kind of BS in here? We're a horrible podcast. The listeners are unsubscribing because how dare we consider the fact that the Vancouver Canucks could lose Quinn Hughes. He's got, a year and a bit, 2 seasons, but Lord help me if we go into the final season without a deal.
Yeah. I mean, terrifying. Just, when I'm looking
He's not going to be signing another deal this season, just to make very clear.
Yes. When you're
Lord
looking at the scuttlebutt, people are talking about it, unfortunately.
Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
The entire league is of the assumption that Quinn Hughes is going to find his way to New Jersey.
And when I was writing this, because I actually wrote, like, he's going to be forced to babysit his brothers again in New Jersey. I do find it very funny that, like, obviously he wants to play with his brothers. That's, like, I can understand that from some perspective. But whenever he is with them, he looks like, like the tired older brother that just, like, has had to look after his siblings all the time.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think that's more his personality.
Yeah. Yeah. And to
I-
be fair, I'm sure he looks like that sometimes when he looks around the Canucks.
Yeah. So I'm going to share something I saw on the Canucks subreddit. This person had talked about how I'd run into a number of different players in, grocery shopping. And he had talked about, when I say he, it could have been she, they, but again, the poster had shared they ran into Besser. How do you think Besser would be if you ran into Besser in a grocery store?
I mean, like, you run into a golden retriever puppy outside a grocery store, like, sweet
Full of
and
energy?
excited.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was bang on. He was like, apparently, bro, yeah, like, when I watch him play, he doesn't. You've described him as vanilla.
I mean, he is vanilla, but aren't golden retrievers vanilla? They're adorable, but not much going on upstairs.
Okay, I interpreted your vanilla as plain boring.
I mean, he is plain and boring. He's excitable. I don't think that those exciting. He's not exciting, but he is excitable and friendly and adorable and lovely.
Quinn Hughes ran into Quinn, but Quinn, would you describe him in the grocery store?
Hi. Like
Not
that.
even. Like head down, hoodie on, in
Yeah.
his phone. Did you see that video they had last season of him shopping in Granville Island and being all sort of extroverted?
That part, but
Oh, you did? Okay, it was like
that's
that
not
was
him.
no, not him. I mean, I honestly I don't expect anyone, even Quinn Hughes, to have to change who they are. I am by far an introverted person. I have to force myself to be extroverted. Some of it has to do with my role when I work. Some of it has to do with the fact when I record podcasts. When I'm with my daughter, I have to force myself because I'm trying to set this example to be sort of
friendly and open. Yeah, but it's funny. Like, if you think of Besser and Hughes, I would love to hang out in a group setting with Besser. I think he'd provide a lot of energy and fun. But if you're talking one-on-one conversation, it'll be far more stimulating to talk to Quinn, let's be honest.
True. Yeah. I don't know if you and I will ever have that opportunity.
No. Either the group hang or the one-on-one.
Yeah.
I bet Quinn Hughes plays chess. I bet Chris Tanev taught him to play chess.
Really?
Yeah. And when they had those, like, when Quinn was a baby and Chris Tanev would, like, cook for everyone because otherwise they, wouldn't
They'd
eat.
starve?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing about the video is, like, when Quinn was making his meal in his, like, apartment, people were seriously questioning if he had any utensils or plates or other sort of cooking paraphernalia because everything looked very much set up and perfect. And I'm sure it was set up for the video.
Yeah.
But, like, the apartment was, like, completely sanitized.
Yeah, I'm not shocked about that either. There's yeah.
Anyhow.
He's just, like, he is who he is. Like,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he's gotten to where he is by sort of being that person. Meticulous and, yeah.
Captain, my captain. Speaking of getting to where they are because they are who they are, we're at the end of an episode. Did you know that?
I mean, I figured because we're at the end of our talking points, but we also, like, you never know with us where we're going to
just maybe another OTR. Speaking of OTR, you and I 2 weeks ago tried to record an episode, and we spoke about.
What did we speak about?
Red flags.
Oh, red flags, yeah.
Flags. It was actually a very entertaining conversation because I'm old, so I had to ask for definition as to what flags represent, colors represent what sort of status. I think you and I had come to an understanding of red, orange, yellow, and green.
My mom said orange flag to me today, so hi, Mum. But yeah, that alarmed me slightly that she's that in tune with internet culture.
Yeah, and it was actually stellar. And so we're using this new platform, Wave Room. The benefit, it's free. And I don't know if this part was included in the last episode, but we're trying to find ways to reduce costs because it's just your pocket and my pocket that covers it with, what our gracious listeners throw our way. Yeah, it's just we're
part of our...
Yeah, I mean, if I don't think it's a secret, but if you weren't aware and you've reached this part of the show, if we were to continue paying for our recording studio software on top of now paying for our own hosting, it's like to the tune of like $500 US. That is a lot of money. It's a lot of loonies. So we're trying to find ways to control those costs. Podcasting ain't cheap anymore. Nothing is really. But we tried to record it. And it was great. It recorded 3 minutes of Anna and 15 minutes of me.
And as much fun as that could be to fill in my half of the conversation.
All you hear is my voice and then just silent block. Maybe we should have published it with is it a fill in your blank and have our listeners, like our supporters, Sean, Neil, your mom, to, tell us what they think you'd say. Mm-hmm.
And then we'll say, actually, we don't know what I said anymore.
Yeah, true. But we'll try it again. And I still haven't published the other OTRs from earlier in the season because, stuff, things, lazy host, horrible host. I'll publish them before the season starts, I hope. If not, there'll be like a sudden drop of like a bunch of OTR. Speaking of OTR, if it is something you want to check out, there is a back catalog of OTR episodes. There will be a bunch of others that we'll publish. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/C4podcast. And if you support us either on a monthly basis, it's $5 a month, or a yearly, which is only $50 for the entirety of the year, you get access to that. And as you saw at the top of this show, a big shout out. Anyone who supports us either through a recurring sort of subscription or through a pint or two, they get a shout out. We like sharing the love. And I mean, we also will give shout outs to people who reach out to us as well from time to time. Because, we love hearing from you.
Mm-hmm.
What else? So, c4podcast.com, entire pack catalog. We're on the socials. The name varies based on the platform. We're at the C4 Podcast on X, at the Real C4 Podcast on Threads, at c4podcast.com on Blue Sky. It's, hard to keep track of everything. But I think it's probably easier to connect to you and I individually. We're essentially ourselves everywhere. If you look for Light Force,
I'm pretty
much Light Force everywhere. You're A4603 almost everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Subtle variations because like Blue Sky and that. But, well, you're you with the way you are, and whatever that is fine by me.
Yeah.
You say that with a question mark, and I say it with an exclamation point. But any final words of wisdom, Anna?
I just wanted to add that if anyone heard me take a screenshot on my computer, that was me taking a screenshot of Thatcher Demko's hair to send to Chris.
Thank you. I did not hear it. Maybe our listeners did. Final words of wisdom from me. If you haven't already, go to the P&E, get yourself the mini donuts. I'm going to miss out.
The other day. Yesterday.
My wife and daughter are going to go, I think, sometime this week.
Oh, get soft serve. I got mango and pineapple soft serve yesterday.
Yeah, like the I think it's like the Dole Whip soft serve, like or whatever.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, the pineapple soft serve is yeah, top tier. So on behalf of Anna, E4603, myself, Chris, at Light Force, I'm going to sign off this episode with those words you've been waiting to hear. We out.